it's better late than ever. And I see just, as we had some technical difficulties. So good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, everybody. This is our current event show, our 178th meeting, which is pretty impressive if you could think of it, because I don't know what I've ever done that has lasted this long. 178 meetings. Welcome. Ken Newman, where are you?
Hello, Ken.
You're not with Manilow, so you're with someone else. Where are you?
Right back at the Westgate, same place as last week.
Oh, you are? Well, isn't today? Oh, that's right. Today is Wednesday. That's right. For me, I don't know what day it is.
And I got,
as you can see,
I'll get my system tech to start setting up.
Yeah.
Anyway, I went to see the show.
Dan.
Yeah, well, I had a good time. I went to see Manilow last week. I sat in the booth with Kenny, and it was phenomenal. It was really good. The show, for an 80-year-old guy, he puts on one hell of a show. But what really amazed me, and I learned a lot about it, about life, because I had forgotten. So I'm sitting in the booth with Kenny, and at the show ends right now, and this two women come up to us, and one woman has this little what's that? The koala bear, a little koala bear, right? There it is. Look, Kenny's showing it. Hold on. Let me pin you. So, because you're not talking, hold it up for a second.
Well,
let me pin you. There you go. See? So she comes up to us, and then she says to us that, hey, we just came in from Australia, and we came especially to see Barry Manilow. We've been fans of his forever. And these women were basically, older than the hills. I mean, they were pretty, they weren't the young spring chickens. But anyway, and they were very thankful. The show was great. They gave Kenny compliments. They gave me a compliment just for standing in the booth. They thought I did something. I don't know. But anyway, and then, we packed up and we decided we were going to go eat. So we went to the sports book, and we went online. We're standing online, and this woman comes up to us and says, "Didn't I see you guys in the booth? Weren't you guys doing the sound for Barry Manilow?" And so Kenny says, "Yes, I'm the sound engineer for Barry Manilow." And the woman said, "I've saved up for 25 years to come see this show." And it was mind-blowing to me that his fan base is so deep and so wide and so many years. The guy's
devoted,
had a lot of fans.
Devoted like Apple fans.
Wait. Are we talking about Ken's fan base or Barry's?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
No, they're Ken's fan base. They said anybody on the stage would have been good enough, but Manilow, that was okay, But no, the reality is and he does put on a good show for an 80-year-old guy. He must have had so much work done on his face because he doesn't look 80 years old. But man, I'll have to tell you, he is as thin as he's almost as thin as Prince was. That's how thin he looks. His legs are like sticks, and yet he moves around the stage and he puts on a great show. So Kenny, thanks for letting me sit in the booth with you. That was great. Before we go any further, I just want to do a little bit of house cleaning, and I have some things to say. Let me move this over here. Okay, number one, I want to thank everybody for coming. Everything you hear today is an opinion, so do your own research. We are ready to roll. I just wanted to say one more thing that before we get going, and that is our stats, our YouTube stats have grown to the point where now we are over almost, let's say, as Paul Anka would say, we've been doing this for decades, but in reality, we have about almost 360 people that are subscribing to this particular show. And that is pretty good. So guys, who's been in the panel, who's been taking me all this way through, thanks very much, because people are watching. I don't know how many people we had watched last week, and I apologize for those. Oh, and one other thing I just realized, and I'm going to have to do this. I forgot to start the stream. So here's the stream. And what I will do is, though, I've recorded it, so I will edit the stream and put on the edited version of the stream so that you guys could see that if you've missed it. So it doesn't even really make a difference. So Anyway, welcome to the show. I'll say it one more time for those people that are watching. Thanks for the 360 something subscribers that we have. Just remember to like the show and share the show, and that will help our ratings in YouTube, and more people will hear our opinions, which is really, really cool. I like that. I like that aspect. But right now, I'm not sure what's going on because it doesn't look like we are sharing the show right now. Oh, well. That's the way life is. Up there it is. We're live. I tell you, live. We are live. And so sorry for all the technical difficulties. Really sorry for all the technical difficulties we've had. But now we're past them all. So welcome, everybody. And thanks for listening. So those people that have joined us, just know that if you want to hear what happened in the previous 30 minutes, yeah, I will replace this live stream or I will supplement it with the real. So anybody in the room want to say anything before we get going with the stories of the week?
Well, how are you feeling, Jan? Now, how was your travel and everything?
All right, we'll get to that in a minute. Greg, you want to introduce yourself? I know I want people because we got some famous people in this room right now. Greg Baker, baby.
I'm not famous. I've just been doing this since 72. I've been doing this, so I've been bouncing around, and I could still hear and I could throw a fader. So
he's the reason you have some of these subscribers.
Huh?
So,
Ken, you want to say something?
did anybody see the article that came out about an Australian recording company that bought a lava, whatever, and they did a recording in a festival called the Festival of Brass, Woodstock Festival of Brass in Austria. So my first question is, how do you get a truck from New Zealand or Australia to Austria, and why? And what kind of festival has nothing but brass bands playing? Has anybody done the Woodstock Festival of Brass?
No,
I haven't heard of that one.
Sounds like a pain in brass to me.
Kurt, that's an interesting background you have there. So no, nobody's been in the. I don't think anybody's been to that, but that's kind of cool. How do you think that happened? Would they use a hydroplane or something like that, or some drone that they got? I don't know.
If they're just, if they're just shipping the console, I've shipped consoles to Australia before. When there were very few Midases in Australia, you had to go ahead and ship one there. So back in the day.
Isn't Lavo in Germany, which is right next door to Austria, so they could have borrowed one.
Yeah.
So Ken, where were they taking it from? That so they came from Austria or Australia?
The production company was from Australia, but the show was in Austria.
They had to have rented one.
What year was that?
This summer.
Just gone.
Yep.
Wow.
Then was it Pro Sound or one of those magazines that video things that pops up all the time? Saw that the other day. It was like,
well, it's kind of interesting.
It's about like a giant polka festival.
A friend of mine probably went to that. No, I've got a friend that wanders around. William Crichton, he wanders around and all those sort of things like that. But he wouldn't have been doing brass bands. He worked as a support act for Midnight Oil across Europe. But he's been over in the States doing stuff. He's been down to Nashville and whatnot. And he's a young fella. He's half my age. But I haven't heard of that one. There is a Pro Sound company here, though. Oh, there's many of them, but I can't place that one.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you, Ken. You've got a lot of acts out on the road right now, right? How many acts would you say you have out on the road right now?
Got a couple back, but I probably got about 25 to 30 out.
Okay, so now it seems to me whenever we turn on the news, right now the news is really dominated about what's going on in the Middle East, and so much so that it's 24/7 coverage. How are the tours getting the word out that they're coming into the cities and selling tickets? How are they doing that?
They're still doing it.
Yeah, it's still out there running. The tickets have been sold for a while. I'm worried more about if we start having people, protesting and stuff there, because what started the whole thing is a music festival in South Israel, and killed was a bunch of people at the festival.
Yeah.
That is the saddest part. I mean, there's so many sad parts about that. But as I was saying to somebody, I say it to everybody, the saddest part for me is that that's our business. That was our, that's what we do. And of course, coming from Las Vegas, I was there for Route 91. It's a heartbreak that happens at a music festival, especially one for peace and love, but still nonetheless, it's still the fact that it happened at a musical event. And of course, when they show those pictures, they show the PA system, stacked on the ground. And it's just a horrible.
Was there any news yet about what became of the crew?
No, I haven't heard any. I was trying to, I always look for it, but no, I mean, just because it's all overshadowed by just the brutality of it all.
Right. I mean, only we would want to know that, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, basically, parents are now being urged to delete or temporarily disable their children's social media apps to prevent them from seeing all of this. And I think that's a smart idea. What do you guys think?
Well,
and I think we should shield our kids. I mean, I don't have any kids, but I think we should shield them from that. To me, I'm here in Thailand right now, and I had no idea how many Thai people were in Israel until I came back here. But boy, the name of the show is Jet Lagged, and I am telling you, I have never been so jet lagged as I've been for the last 24 hours. It's been horrible. It was horrible.
Did you sleep on the plane, or Jan?
I slept 10 hours on the plane. I slept 10 hours. The flight from LAX to Hong Kong is 15 and a half hours. And I slept for 10 of those hours. And even though I was exhausted by the time I got back to Thailand, because basically I was very lucky. I got a flight from Las Vegas to LAX, and that was really quick, except for the fact that they were having a paperwork snafu on the plane and they couldn't take off. It had something to do about the balance of the weight, but they said that it was only a paperwork thing. So, I mean, I have to believe them, I guess.
Well, that's
nobody else seemed to
important.
be nervous.
If you don't punch in the right weight numbers into the plane, into the flight computer, that's a bad way to fly.
Anyway, it took them about an hour. We were sitting on the plane, and it took them about an hour to figure it out, and then we took off. And it was a beautiful flight from Las Vegas to Los Angeles. So now we're really late. We're an hour late, and there's a lot of people that have got to be catch another plane, right? So they make an announcement on the plane. They said, ladies and gentlemen, we are really late, and there are people that have to get to their next flight within an hour. So if you have one of those flights, please get up right away and get out of the plane. And the rest of us, please sit down and let the people who have to get off the plane first so they can make their connections, right? And they made that announcement 3 times, and then they turned off the seatbelt sign, and everybody got up at the same time. Nobody gave a shit about anybody else, So anyway, it turns out that LAX has built a terminal from American Airlines to Tom Bradley, which is the international terminal. Right. And it was really simple to get there. And we didn't have to go through security again. Normally, you'd have to go through security when you change planes. But because they built this tunnel, they've let people go through. And here's the most amazing thing. When I got to Hong Kong, they had the same situation where I did not have to go through security another time, which I was really shocked about. Normally, when you get off a plane and an international transfer, they make you go through security another time, but I didn't have to go through security another time. And then the plane was 15 hours. So it was like the perfect timing. I couldn't have had better timing from connecting flights, where the most I ever stayed in the airport was like about 2.5 hours. And that was really
Cathay?
good. And Cathay Pacific, American Airlines from Las Vegas to Los Angeles, Cathay Pacific, Los Angeles to Hong Kong, and Hong Kong to Phuket. Cathay Pacific.
Oh, no, you're going.
No.
Okay.
Went direct. I couldn't have gotten a better flight, and I couldn't have gotten luckier on that on the flight, because I was looking for flights, couldn't find anything. The best thing I could find was going to Doha, which is going I'd go Boston, Doha, Phuket, which is really the wrong direction for me. Plus, who wants to fly over the Middle East at this point in time? But there I was. I found the flight. So Kenny was in Las Vegas, and he said, well, look, I'm leaving tomorrow, which was Sunday. If you need a ride, I'll give you a ride. And so I was looking for flights from Los Angeles to Phuket on Cathay Pacific, and I found this great flight. But while I'm on hold, I typed in one of my point carriers, which is Chase Bank, and I found the same flight with the Las Vegas connection in it for the same price. And while I was on hold, the agent finally comes on, and I say, hey, I just found this other flight on Chase. She says, book it and I'll give you the seats. So I booked it and they gave me the seats. It was like basically amazingly lucky. Amazing.
Travel miracle.
A travel miracle. I'll put that, that's right. A travel miracle. I shouldn't have called, now I have a new name for the show, A Travel Miracle. That's it. Instead of jet lagged. I like that much better. Thanks, Mr. Newman. Thank you. Anyway, yeah, I am jet lagged, but now I'm feeling good because I slept all night. I couldn't work yesterday, so I slept all night. Anyway, what else is going on? Let's see. Oh, by the way, Rudolph Isley, one of the founding members of the R&B group Isley Brothers, he passed away. He was 84. May he rest in peace. I didn't realize he did the song Love the One You're With. And I wonder if anyone knows if that's the same song that Dave Mason recorded.
Well, wait, Stephen Stills also,
Yeah.
right? But wait, so are you saying Isley wrote it?
It says the Isley Brothers endured success with songs like Love the One You're With and Testify.
Probably different song, same name.
So if somebody wants to Google whether they wrote it or not, I don't know. But anyway, may he rest in peace. And then someone else passed away, Suzanne Summers, and she passed away. She was 76. And I actually got a chance to work with Suzanne Summer. Did you know that she was married to Alan Hamel? Does anybody know who even Alan Hamel is? Alan Hamel.
Go ahead.
No, go, Rick.
You probably have. Go ahead.
No, Alan Hamel was an actor, but wasn't he representing in Los Angeles, Ralph's Supermarkets? Wasn't he the spokesman for Ralph's Supermarkets down there? I guess that was his claim to fame, Mr. Ralph's.
But they went on to develop all those TV products, so
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Thigh Master. I still use mine every day.
She was a close personal friend of Barry Manilow's too, by the way, Jan.
Yep. So I have an interesting story about Suzanne Summers and Alan Hamel. So I was doing a show for the American Cancer Society of Beverly Hills. And we were at the Beverly Hills Hotel. And it was one of those, but the benefit show. And Suzanne, and we booked Peter Marshall. Who else did we book? I forgot. Robert Guillaume. He was also a singer as well as an actor. and Suzanne Summers. And Suzanne Summers was the headline. And so I when we were coordinating the show, I'm talking with Alan Hamill, and I said, look, the best slot for one of these shows, you know, because it's a gray-haired thing where they eat rubber chicken, and then, you know, we put on entertainment. And I said to him, well, the best slot is the middle slot, and you should go in on the middle slot. And he said, she's a headliner. She goes as the headliner. We close the show. And I said, I'm telling you, you'd be much better off doing the middle set because people will still be there. He says, you don't know what you're talking about. Now, at this point in time, I had maybe done 25, 30 shows that I produced for various charities in the Los Angeles area. And I knew for sure that people are not there to see the entertainment. They are there to donate to their charity. It's all, you know, a very close-knit situation. And so he said, no, she's a headliner. She goes on at the end. And I said, all right. I don't say I didn't tell you. Anyway, sure enough, you know, Peter Marshall goes on first, Robert Guillaume goes on first, you know, goes on second, and he's really good. I mean, they're both really, really good. They're doing a great job, but people start walking out. By the time Suzanne Summer got on, there must have been about 20 people left, you know?
So let me guess, you were right.
I was right, but guess what? They were mad at me. They were mad at me, you know. And I said, what the hell? How can you be mad at me? I told you should go on in the middle, you know. So anyway, anyway, she was a very nice lady. Suzanne was very nice. May she rest in peace. So, Kurt, in your honor, I want to do just one more story for the Sphere.
No.
Can't wait for someone to build something else so we don't have to hear about it anymore.
Well, you don't have to worry about it. My, you know, this is an opinion show, but the way it's going, I'm guessing that they're going to be bankrupt shortly enough.
Wait,
you know,
but
be
Jan,
filing for a chapter 11.
Can I tell everybody what I found out about the Sphere?
Why can't you just remember it's an opinion, and everything you hear, do your own research. So yes, go ahead. Tell us your opinion.
Let me see if I can. Okay, so I heard this from an informed source. You know how we're all talking about how the PA is behind the performers, and it's kind of like 100 feet behind the performers, and that's kind of bad sounding for the performers on stage. Well, I heard from one guy who works there that maybe his opinion is that he heard that there's a way that they could take out a section of the wall, like 80 feet wall or something, and then they can put the stage back inside the video wall instead of in front of the video wall. So now you've just got the PA above you instead of behind you. So that's a big difference, if you ask me. If that's really true, that'll be really different and really cool.
It's also flat on the bottom. It's not really a sphere.
Well, sure.
How do you know? There
And
might
it
be a
doesn't
basement,
rotate.
Kurt.
What?
There might be a basement.
Yeah, there's always a basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're rapidly.
It's hard to build basements. They don't usually build basements in Las Vegas because of the caliche. But I'm sure that with all the equipment that they built and what they did, of all the way they've displaced the earth, I have a feeling that they might be able to put in a basement. I hear they have a large parking structure as well for people, but they charge 120 something bucks for every car.
Is it below ground?
You were the one who told me about the parking structure.
No, I think it was Michael Havoc. I think it was Michael Havoc. But I wonder if they probably did go into the ground significantly just to put support equipment underground, really.
Yeah.
The other thing I heard about it was that they need so much. Well, hold on. There's some reason, I forget what the reason was, about the expansion and contraction of the metals that make up the building, that they can only have a 20-degree variance in the climate inside the building. Otherwise, something will fail. And so in order to maintain that 20-degree variance, they are connected to 3 different power stations. And so they're getting power from 3 different grids or whatever it's called, you know, so that they can make sure they have air conditioning all the time to keep that place at the right temperature. And that's a lot of electricity.
So wait, if it's 110 out, it can only be 90 inside?
No, they have to be within that 20-degree window, which I think is probably 50 to 70 or something.
Oh, not 20 degrees relative to outside.
Right.
No, just a 20-degree window. Yeah, he said
from inside.
Yeah.
Well, metal contracts, and when it gets cold, and it expands when it gets hot. And Las Vegas desert, I mean, that amount of heat that's hitting the outside of the building in the dead of summer could be 120, 130 degrees. And it's amazing that they've been able to figure that out with, as far as the tiles that are on the outside of the building, those LED tiles. And the other thing I was thinking about is that when you buy LED, historically speaking, every lot is different. Every lot is a different batch of LEDs, and you have to match the lots. So what's going to happen when they start replacing the lots of the LED panels, and how are they going to get on outside of the building in the dead of heat of summer to change those panels?
Oh, look, there's David. David, where are you at?
Hotel California.
Yeah, right. Once you can come in, but you can never leave.
He's on a plane.
He can't be. If he's on a plane. Are you on a plane?
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear
Yep.
me?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm on a plane.
How cool is that?
We just landed in Nashville, and I stay on the same plane to go to Pensacola. So they just emptied out all the passengers, and now I just moved up further because it's Southwest. And I'm going to get my bags up overhead, and then I can talk.
Well, congratulations.
All right. That's it. I'm back.
Yeah, so there you go. And you're with Hotel California right now.
Yeah, well, I will be. They're paying me today, so yeah, I guess I am.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yeah, 2 weeks in
Yeah.
Florida.
So when are you coming to the Villages again, David?
Let me look it up.
Because I'll pop up and see you.
Let's
That's about an hour away from me.
see.
Boy, David gets to see everybody in person. That's cool.
Hey, while David's doing that, I just want to say one more thing. We're going to post a link in the chat about this guy named Willie Williams. Willie Williams has been YouTube's designer, visual designer, ever since the beginning. And he's the one who designed all of the video that's in the YouTube show. So if you're interested in seeing that interview, it's a question and answer interview from, I believe it's Live Design Online. And so we'll throw that link into the chat. As a matter of fact, I think I might even throw it into the YouTube chat as well, if I can.
All right, so
Tina, are you throwing the links into YouTube as well?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Do you want me to?
If you could throw that on that particular, in the sphere, will the visual guru link, yes, throw that into the chat. You could throw that into the chat here in case anybody's interested. Okay, David, take it away.
So I'm in Weirsville, W-I-E-R-S, Weirsdale, at the Orange Blossom Opry, which is right outside, like a half a mile outside of the Villages, on the 24th, the 24th and the 25th.
24th and the 25th. So that's next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, baby. Come on down.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll figure out it'll probably be the 24th, actually. That's next Tuesday. So
Do you have my information? You got my number? Email?
No.
Any of that?
no, I'll
Well,
go
don't
ahead
put it
and-
out. Don't put it out live. Just I'll make sure that Greg gets it. Okay, Greg, I will
You
make
could do a
sure that
private
you get it.
chat.
Yep.
Well, he's on the plane. That's going to be uncomfortable for him on a little phone like that to do that. So I'll take care of that.
I mean,
And
yeah,
then
could
to-
do it privately to Greg.
Yeah, I'll do that. As a matter of fact, Greg, I could either text you or send you a
Yeah,
private message
Yeah,
on the
go
chat.
ahead. and do that,
Probably
yeah.
better that I text you on your cell phone. So that's
Yeah.
what we'll do. All right.
All right.
So
Cool.
Dave, you're
That'll
making
be
a ton of
fun.
money this year. You're making a ton of money. And I just wanted to let you know that if you don't have an accountant, because I know that Roger passed away this year, and may he rest in peace. The IRS, it's building its own tax-free filing system this year. So if it's successful, it would serve as an alternative to private tax preparation like HR Block or Intuit's TurboTax. So you could Google that if you want. And that is something that's a tip of the day, that IRS is now offering you their own tax advice. I'm here with the IRS and I'm here to help you.
And I'm sure it's going to work in your favor when it's coming from
I'm here to help you.
The IRS.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will.
I'm here to help you. We're your friend.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that deduction for traveling. I forgot about out of town per diem allotments.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
forgot
and those
we have
eBay
business
sales didn't
expenses.
count because they were out of state. I understand that. So anyway, that's going on. Anybody watch Netflix? Anybody watch The Crown? Well, their final season gets the release date. The Crown is going to be watch part 1 from November 16th, part 2 from December 1st. So I don't know what that means, but The Crown, it's one of their biggest shows. And so they have a new season coming out on The Crown if you watch it.
It's the fifth. Yes,
Yep.
it's like the
the other-
final, fifth and final season.
Yep, I haven't watched it, but I guess it's about the Queen of England, the King and Queen of England. Is that correct?
Yes, the royal family. It's really well done. Really well done.
Yeah, and I heard Harry might be moving back to England. I found that I just read an article that he's somehow they found that he's buying a house there. You would think that with all the properties though the royal family has, he would, he could probably get a good deal on rent.
Well, they just owned him. They took away his royal title, so they got to do a whole thing to take him back.
Well, what can I say? What can I say? Good luck, Harry. I don't think he needs luck. He's got 2 kids already. I'm impressed. He's a fast worker.
Hey, Ken, is Kurt your system engineer today? Uh-oh. Look at that background. Yeah.
Wow, Kurt, you're impressive.
I was just noticing that he took a picture while I wasn't there or something. That's pretty great. Pretty great, Kurt.
He's
You
fast,
need
man.
a
He's
system
fast.
guy.
That's good.
I'm
Yeah, it's
tired of
pretty
watching
cool.
you work so hard.
Well,
Actually, your
I think it's almost all ready to go.
blue screen, your green screen, whatever it is, looks pretty damn good. How are you doing the background? Do you have a green screen, or are you just using the actual background in Zoom?
Oh, I just screen capped Ken's background when he stepped out of the frame for a second.
No, but are you using Zoom, or do you have a green screen behind you?
Just Zoom.
You have to say that again.
Just Zoom. I don't have any backlight though behind me. I turned it all off.
Oh, okay. That's as long as you don't move, if you keep your head straight, then you can't tell that it's a green screen.
It's fake, yeah.
But if once you move, then you could see it.
Yeah.
But,
See, Kenny can move all he wants, and the background doesn't change. But when you move, it changes.
But I'm really surprised to see you in front of a digital console there, Kurt. That's a shame on you.
I have my back turned to it.
Yeah, right.
I own lots of digital consoles, Ken. You know that.
Yeah, he's got some SD12s too. I know for sure.
Why is my spacebar not working? I guess I don't have it set up in this computer. Anyway, yeah, but it wouldn't be your first choice, I have a feeling.
No. Hey, have you ever had Ken? Have you ever been mixing and had Bet sit in since they go back so far?
I'm sorry, have what's happened?
Had Bette Midler sit in?
Oh no, they're not friends anymore, I don't think.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think they're that close. Closest thing would be Lorna Luft. You know who that is?
yeah,
That's like Liza's half sister.
right.
He's friends with her and stuff, so she's open for him, but that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, too bad, huh?
Just always wondered.
Well, that's Judy Garland's stepdaughter, right? Judy Garland's daughter with another husband, Vincent Minnelli. Well, hey, I think that's what it is. But, remember, do your own research. This is an opinion. What do I know? Well, you know what I do know is Disneyland is raising their prices again in California. What a shock. What a shock.
So
I
is
tell you.
Disney
A shock.
World.
Disneyland
Disney
is
all around.
yeah. Now, did Disney buy HBO Max?
No,
Something's going on with HBO Max Discovery, but I'm not sure whether Disney bought it or somebody's buying them.
Yeah. Now, does anybody in the room other than Kenny and myself use Plex? Have you guys heard of Plex? Oh my God, you haven't? Well, I've known about it for years, but I've never used it until Kenny told me about it. And then it's a great way to share, great way to share your movie library with yourself, so that when you travel or when you're at a hotel or when you want to be in another room and want to watch something, it's basically your own media server. And because it's your media server, you could have your family tap into it. You could give it to your friends, and it's all media sharing, and it's all legal, and it's beautiful, and it's a wonderful thing. And Kenny, I want to thank you. It was really great. By the way, I saw the movie on the plane. Now, I know that Kenny was telling me this. And have you seen Hello, God, It's Me, Margaret? I think that's what it was called. Was that the name of the movie? So I listened to your
Something like
advice,
that,
and I
yeah.
watched
Did you
it.
watch that movie?
I watched it on the
Did you watch
plane.
You probably hated it, huh?
No, I actually thought it was really good. Rachel McAdams, I just think she's like, hot as can be. And, she was like, the YMPA of that movie. And, but basically it's a great movie. I thought it had a very deep meaning, and it was enjoyable to watch. It was, who was really good. What's the mother's name? Sally Bates, is that her name? Kathy Bates.
Kathy.
I mean, she was very good in that movie. Really good. I would be surprised if she doesn't get nominated. She was very believable in that movie as the grandmother. So anyway, I would say if you're interested in a movie about a life of a little girl growing up and going through maturity and religion, then this is a great movie. If you're not interested in that, the movie sucks.
It really hit home for me, Jan. I don't know if I told you, but my parents, my mother was Jewish and my father was not Jewish, and so my mother's family disowned her. So it was sort of reversed in the movie, but
yes,
sort of the same thing. Family that disowned the Jewish family, right? Wasn't, or was, I forget. Anyway,
yeah, basically the
little girl had never met her. She never met her grandparents. Right. That's like me. I never met my grandparents because they were disowned. My mother was disowned.
Yeah, that's basically what the whole plot was, is that Rachel McAdams, she was a Catholic, and the husband, I don't remember the guy's name in the movie, but he was Jewish. And so basically when she married, and I went through that with Kate, if you remember Kate, Kenny, I went through that. Her family really said, we disown you as well if you're going to be with him. And so basically, but that marriage is over. So she's back with her family, and now she disowns me completely. She doesn't even admit she ever knew me, which is a good thing. I'm glad that she feels that way about me. But the reality is that, it's an interesting movie with a lot of good character and great acting. And it does have a plot line, which you could probably relate to, even if you can't relate to it. There you have it. So whatever. What else could we talk about? So if anybody in this room, let's see, the government wants to recall 52 million airbags over concern they could potentially explode in a crash. However, the companies that put them in the car argue a broad recall will be simply unprecedented. And so there's only 7 isolated incidents. So if you're interested in that, we'll put a link in the show notes as well about which cars are affected. So if you want to look into your airbag, go ahead and do that. Here's another interesting story that I'd like to bring up. Amazon, the US government, and 17 states are suing Amazon in a landmark monopoly case, reflecting the years of allegations that the e-commerce giant abused its economic dominance and harmed fair competition. Now, the lawsuit by the Federal Trade Commission alleges that Amazon unfairly promotes its own platform and services like Prime at the expense of third-party sellers who rely on the company's e-commerce marketplace for distribution. Now, now, do you guys understand that story at all? Or do I need to clear that up?
Yeah, it doesn't affect me, so I've moved on from it. So.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what happened. So Amazon created this store, it wasn't there before Amazon, and they built up this beautiful store. So what happens is that Amazon Choice or Amazon Picks are usually at the top of when you do a search for something that you're looking for, the Amazon Picks are usually at the top, right? But you don't have to buy the Amazon Picks. You can pick whatever you want. So what Amazon has historically been doing, they monitor all sales. So if they see, I'll give you one example in specific. I have a friend who is importing hammocks from Bali. She was importing the hammocks from Bali and she was selling them. Well, it turns out that they didn't have any hammocks on Amazon except for hers and a few other small vendors. And her hammocks started selling like crazy and she was making a ton of money. And so what Amazon did was Amazon introduced their own hammock. And instead of her being the top listing now, Amazon had their listing above hers. And she noticed that from the time that Amazon listed their hammocks on the site, compared to what it used to be, was her sales dropped by 50%. And then they dropped by 60%. And then they dropped by 70% because Amazon was above her. And so that's what this lawsuit's all about. So if Amazon finds a competitor that is doing well, they introduce their own item and market it above that item that was selling. Basically,
but it's Amazon.com.
stifling.
But it's Amazon.com. Why can't they do that?
Well, I understand. That's the point.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what I feel too. But there are people that feel it's just like the Apple Store. There was no App Store before the Apple created it, and now people are saying, "Well, we want more money out of that because it's because we deserve more money, and Apple's got a monopoly on it." Well,
so
sell your app somewhere else.
Yeah,
but the reality is,
look at your website.
But with the reality of Apple is Apple is saying, no, you can't sell, we can't let people download any app. Otherwise it'll destroy the integrity of our operating system. Because if the way we do it right now, there's no way that anybody, a mischievous actor could go in and supplant some sort of virus into the phone system or copy data or whatever.
To that point,
yeah,
Tesla is making their own app store. So if you have a Starlink or if you own a Tesla, there's going to be an app store. So I don't know what you're going to be able to buy on it, but you're still adding to the background, aren't you, Kurt?
Yep.
Well, I'm jealous of Jan. He got to be in the booth with Ken.
Oh, that's good. That's very, very good. That's excellent.
Where is Kenny, by the way?
Kenny's in Las Vegas.
Oh, I thought what's today? Wednesday. Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, today's Wednesday. It's now 6:09. We're running. We ran a little bit late. I was having some technical difficulty getting the show live, and so now it's up and running. So we'll stay a little bit longer in the room. Has anybody? Let's see.
Well, let me tell you, I saw the Taylor Swift movie this week.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. She is a force. She doesn't, how Mick Jagger never stops moving? Neither does she. She is all over all of those stages at any moment. She never stops. It's so impressive. And she's just has a great time out there, and the people have a great time watching the show.
So she doesn't leave the stage for like 5 minutes for a costume change or anything?
Yeah, she definitely does. But even then, she's still moving. She's moving even faster when she's doing a costume change than she is when she's actually performing. So,
David, tell us a little bit about the stage dive. What do you know about that?
the stage dive? Well, she's got all of these doors and platforms that move up and down, especially in the center section, where they're constantly being used during the show. She's probably on them 15, 20 times without dancers, without singers. They're in the shape of steps so she can walk up, or there's up, down, up, down, up, down with singers in the middle. It's like all over the place. And at some point, it's time for a costume change. You know, this is her ERAS, ERAS tour. And she's got like 8 or 9 albums that came out. So there's 8 or 9 eras. And it comes with a title of each era. And you know she's moving to something else. And she's got a different costume on. Well, at the end of one of the eras, she's standing there. And the next thing you know, she just dives and disappears because the platform opened up with a big cushion on it. And she's gone. And then she appears again right there. She doesn't go all the way back to the stage. She appears again right there in a new costume. But she definitely just disappears. It's very cool. You don't expect.
Well, doesn't it look like she's swimming? Doesn't it look like she's swimming under the stage when she dives into the stage?
Well, that's the video of her swimming all the way back to the stage. You know, the whole stage is a video screen. So they can put on it what they want. So they have her, you know, a video of her swimming back to the stage. Meanwhile, she's underneath where she dives and she's changing. So.
Yeah. So basically that's, from my understanding, what that is it's a dolly. She dives in onto this mattress. It looks like she's diving into the water, but it's actually, she lands on this mattress or a cushion. And it's on a dolly that takes it to the other end of the stage. And while it's moving, she's changing her clothes, but it looks like she's swimming.
Well, that would be possible, except she appeared in the same part of the stage again. So I don't know if that's true or not, because all of a sudden, there she was at the same end of the audience end of the stage. So, and I remember the show was about a half hour of the show was cut out for the film. So there might have been something different, but I don't think so. I think she went down into the hole and then she appeared up by the hole. So we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if there were dollies to get her around, but I don't know if they used it then.
Yeah. I just lost my train of thought on that. Was I going to say? Oh, well, it comes as my mom used to say.
Global. Claire Globle's doing both. Did the Eras tour and Beyonce's tour, and
that's impressive.
Yeah,
who is
technically it's 8th day?
Claire.
Oh,
yep.
8th day? Did you say 8th day?
Yeah, but
is doing the sound
is owned by Claire.
It is now. Yeah, that's good. But hey, you just gave me a lead. Hello, Jack. If you're listening, you'll be getting a call from me about Singapore. Okay, there you go. All right. So, because I was thinking about that, how they're going to be transporting this stage, and they've got 2 stages I heard that they built. And so, I mean, that's going to be a pretty interesting logistics situation to get those stages overseas, because she's doing an international leg of her tour.
Well, just like Metallica did. Sea Changers.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sure it's good. I mean, that movie, by the way, her movie has surpassed box office. I heard that it cost her $20 million to produce it. She did it herself. Cost her $20 million to produce it. And on the first weekend already, both domestically and internationally, they brought back $150 million. That is a good return on your investment.
And she gets 67% of the gate.
Oh, she gets 60% of the gate.
Yeah. And the theater owners get 15%, and then AMC gets the rest.
But doesn't AMC own the theaters?
Yeah, not all of them. They're going to be coming out in Regal and everybody else too. It's just right now it's only AMC.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it's here, and I know Bo wants to go see the movie, so maybe today I will take her to
Oh,
see
yeah.
it because I want to see it too. Although one of my friends took his girlfriend here in Thailand to see it in Bangkok, and he basically because actually he had saw the pictures that I sent him a picture of me at Manilow show, and he called me and said, "I wish I was at Manilow instead." So if you're not a Taylor Swift fan, it might be 2 hours of more than you want to handle in a movie theater.
Yeah, almost 3 hours, first of all.
Yeah. Also, the other thing is that I hear that there's a whole controversy right now of whether it's okay to get up and dance during the movie.
Well, what they did was, I saw it in the IMAX, first of all. So anybody who wanted to dance went off to the sides and was dancing off to the side. But there were plenty
Did you
of
see a lot of people
dancing.
dancing?
About 30, 40. That's a lot.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, they stood up and immediately went off to the side, like courtesy. It was very cool.
Yeah, very, very cool. Very, very
mean,
cool.
it's Taylor Swift's, her songs all sound the same.
That's exactly what he said to me. That's exactly what he said to me. It sounded like that it was like one song. They all sounded the same to him.
Right, except Shake It Off, which was completely different. But other than that, they all sound the same. But it doesn't matter. They love her. Now, you will get bored because it's really long. But you'll look at the costume changes. You'll look at the production values. She's great to look at anyway. So you'll enjoy it for what it is. But at some point, you'll be saying, boy, this is a long movie.
Well, I will be looking at it from the production value. That's for sure. I will be looking from a production value.
Absolutely. I was too. And you're still going to say this is a long movie.
Yeah.
How was the sound? What did they make use? Was it Atmos, David?
No, I couldn't get into the Atmos theater, so I had to see it in IMAX. So I had good fidelity.
Well, the sound in IMAX is phenomenal. You can't complain about the IMAX sound.
No, sound in IMAX was excellent, but Atmos is even better. So I couldn't get into Atmos, but the screen on the IMAX is phenomenal, and that's I had great seats, center, and center, and it's great. It's a fun movie to see. I don't know how loud I have to speak for you to hear me.
No, you
people on here now.
It's fine. Well, we're coming to the end of the show anyway. So at this point in time, is there anybody that has anything that they want to say? Well, let me just do one more quick story. In case you didn't know it, Target is going to start shutting down a bunch of stores. And Kurt, you're going to be affected because they're closing 2 locations in Seattle, evidently 3 in Portland and 3 in San Francisco and Oakland. And basically they're getting robbed like crazy. I mean, they're getting shoplifting is off the hook. And one reason the police believe that the retail theft is surging is the fact that under the criminal justice law reforms and policies, grand theft and the law that covers shoplifting is a crime that judges can no longer jail a person or even require bail, no matter how much they steal or this, and no matter how many times the same individual is caught. That's crazy.
Yeah, they're
so basically go in and steal. No. I mean, it's crazy.
They're posting undercover cops here in stores now.
I thought they had to steal over $900 for it to become a felony, and before that, it's a misdemeanor. And that changes.
Well, according to this, it's a crime that judges could no longer jail a person, even require bail, no matter how many times the same individual is caught. We'll throw the link in the chat. What is that noise? Is that you, David?
Yeah, let me mute.
I just did it. I just muted you. Yeah, that was the pilot making an announcement. Who listens to those announcements anyway? As I told you, they said, hey, people need to catch another plane. So sit down until, let those people off the plane and nobody listened to it at all. So, hey, and I don't get it. Why do they play those announcements? I mean, is there, I think they should say, is this everybody, please, raise your hand if this is the first time you've ever flown, but other than that, I mean, I've heard that announcement for years and years and years of what to do, in the event of a water landing, it's crazy, so. I mean, I think when you book the ticket, there should be a box that you check or let the agent who's taking it saying, how many times have you flown? More than 10? Good. Okay. If everybody on the plane is flying more than 10 times, then we don't need to play the announcement, but they do. They no longer, though, have the stewardess on some planes where they actually have the life vest on and they're buckling the seatbelt and all that stuff. It's like, who doesn't know that now? Anyway. Just a little rant.
Lawyers and liability.
Yeah. I mean, hey,
Yeah, but you'd be surprised about when an emergency does happen, what people, they forget about all that. And, they're going to be going and, oh, wait a minute, I got to get my luggage in the overhead bin. Craziness. So
yeah, I don't know. I have this idiosyncrasy that I won't take my shoes off until the plane takes off, until we're in the air. But you see people taking their shoes off like right away. When do you take your shoes off?
I do.
Me?
I do.
Flying? It depends on how long the flight is. I mean, if you did you take your shoes off from Las Vegas to LAX?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard there was a shoe thief on the plane. That's why I didn't do it. I didn't want anybody to steal my shoes. All right, let's open it up. Who wants to say something that we haven't covered yet? And then we'll call this a quits for the day on the social media. And just remember, there'll be two social media videos out, one before we started recording to live, and then once we were streaming. So you'll see them both if you want, or maybe not.
Hey, Kurt,
I don't know.
Kurt, have you used your 2100 yet?
Nope. Probably pretty soon though.
Oh man, I'm dying to hear what you think about them.
Well, we only got 6, but there'll be 18 total in next month or so.
Cool.
All right.
Jealous as hell.
Wayne, is there anything you want to say? You've been pretty quiet.
Oh no, I've just been listening. It's been very good listening today. So I will ask, David, what part of the world are you in? Where did he go?
He's in Nashville, heading to Florida.
Oh, what are you?
That's right.
And Ken, you're still doing Kenny Newman. You're still doing it. I looked it up, and Barry Manilow's doing quite a run.
Actually, we're here in Vegas this weekend, and then we come back the fall. Well, maybe a couple weeks later or something, because we're filming the Christmas show for TV. So the 1st of November is a filming day, and we'll be setting up our Christmas show with all the snow on the stage and everything, and Christmas trees and all that, and singing
all
Christmas.
that stuff.
But the public Christmas shows don't happen until like the latter part of November, right after Thanksgiving.
Oh, what yeah. Actually, I watched a couple.
You'll be able to see our show on NBC in something.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're going to be there during F1 weekend?
They've canceled. We had shows planned for that weekend, and they canceled them because it's going to be so didn't sell very many tickets.
So are they bringing a truck in, and you give them stems or something, or is it another?
They're bringing in a truck, and they're going to take 2 Maddie streams, and 13 analog feeds also, because I don't have those in the ST racks. Those input.
So will some of what makes it hair be your sub mixes or no?
No, it's all just inputs. The guy that does is like Manilow's TV guy, has done his TV and live recordings many times, so he's totally like fine with starting from scratch. So the only thing I'll have to do with it is my mic preamps are feeding him.
How are they going to supplement the lighting where you are? How are they going to supplement the lighting?
That is a good question. I don't know. I've heard that they're doing something, but I don't know what it is.
Is that
Yeah, I look in the background and I see the park cans. I haven't seen a park can in a long time
Right.
in use.
Yeah, oh yeah, look at that. There are definitely park ants. Well, I know, I heard a rumor that the lighting guy, Barry's lighting guy came to Vegas like yesterday, I think, to preset some looks or something. Maybe that's why those park cans are so visible. They're not usually visible like that, but that's funny.
Is that an original blazon on our meter bridge, or is that a newer one?
It's a Clearcom.
Old school, the thin one?
I don't know. It's the only one I've ever had. It's an FL1 call signal flasher.
So for those who are not in the industry, that basically tells Kenny there's an orange light that will blink, and that's his direct communication to the monitor engineer who is backstage. So if they need to talk during the show, that orange light flashes and Kenny goes on the intercom and he's able to talk to his monitor engineer and vice versa, so they could coordinate balancing the sound or anything that
you want some pizza? What is that? Yeah, pepperoni? No, we don't have pepperoni today.
I bought the red ones because I love the questions I get from people in the audience.
Yeah, the red one's good. When I used to have a red one from Delicate, and people definitely ask questions about that.
Yeah, it's evacuation time. We must evacuate. That's it. Anyway, listen.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, go, Wayne. Go Wayne.
I was just going to ask. I was just going to ask a question. Do you know where your koala came from in Australia?
Yes, I do. I do, because I was there when they gave it to him. Hold on, Ken, you got to talk so that we could see you, but I could pin you. Show it up again. I'll pin it up.
Okay, here it is. See, it says
Bum Buzz.
I don't know if that's forwards or backwards where you are, but
Bum Buzz. It's correct.
And it's
what part of the?
Okay, so the woman was from Sydney and the other one was from Brisbane. There were two women. One was from Sydney and one Brisbane.
And I don't know if you noticed this, Jan, but she put a nice card. This was the card that was strapped to the koala's chest. It says, "Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for everything you do. The world is a much better place because of people like you. With warmest wishes from Debbie and Shane X." And it's got a picture. That's the card, and it's got a koala and some other Australian things on it.
Yeah, very good.
Well, that's very cool. That was, because that wasn't just handwritten. That was done before they got there, so they knew that they were going to give it to us. But they gave it to you instead of me. I can't believe it. And I was just standing right there. They could have handed it to me.
Very good.
Anyway, it's good. It's really cool. Ken Porter, anything you want to say to the people out there before we go offline?
I'm good. Hopefully everything's going well for everybody.
Yeah. Well, everything's going well for me. It's kind of interesting. I'm finally not feeling jet lagged, and it's been pretty good because I got plenty of sleep. And as W.C. Field says, the best cure for insomnia is to get plenty of sleep. So there you have it. Anybody else have anything they want to say before we say goodbye to the listening audience?
Don't forget to text me David stuff, Jan.
Okay, I will. So with that in mind, just remember, you make it happen. Give us a thumbs up, share the show with somebody, send a link. We're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and those places. So please give us a little bit of love, and that way more people will come and join us. It's wonderful to have you, and I'm glad to be alive and with you once again. And I really thank you for your participation and for viewing. So with that in mind, just remember, you make it happen. Have a great week. Be safe and stay out of trouble. And we'll see you again for the 179th meeting next Wednesday at 5 o'clock Pacific Coast time. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
And we are off the air.